Okay, so I am here with Kate Rath, but not W-R-A-T-H, R-A-T-H.
Just R-A-T-H,
Yeah.
not
Yes,
angry.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. What I really wanted to do today, and I'm so glad that you decided to do this with us, is like, you know, a lot of us will have like a plant in the house, but we want a nice like cool like centerpiece or something that is just a little bit more sophisticated than just like a plant in a pot. And what's interesting is that you brought a bunch of accoutrements here. So tell me a little bit about what we're gonna do.
So I was looking for the perfect plant and I wanted to pick something that had some movement to it. I was totally in love with this Hoya. You know, I want the plant to sit beautifully here, but I do want it to go in other directions. So I have brought some twigs and some bleached flowers, and we are going to attempt to kind of make a trellis type of system, make this centerpiece bigger, grow a little bit, while still being a centerpiece, low, right?
And then you have movement then too,
Yes.
because you're like looking for movement. And so when you design something, do you see something and then say, this is what I'm looking for, and is it more organic, or do you have this kind of sketch in mind, or like how do you work? Creative process.
A little bit more organic, I think.
Yeah.
I think I kind of came into today thinking I was going to have some type of petal, some type of bloom involved. However, there are no blooms on this plant currently.
No. Although the leaves are nice too.
The leaves are beautiful.
This is like a splashy pubicalyx.
Yeah.
So they have nice
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's late winter. We're thinking about possibly seeing blooms at some point, so I'm kind of leaning into that.
And then you have this like beautiful shaped bowl, a teak bowl.
Yeah, so I really liked this teak bowl. They're all natural, they're all different sizes. I really, really liked this one because we had a nice shape here, and I think this plant's gonna sit super well in it.
Yeah.
And it stays low. I thought it lent itself to a centerpiece quite nicely.
And when you think about centerpieces like this, like, is it something that you say, okay, I'm gonna do this for like, this is gonna be here for a couple weeks or a week? Is it a month thing? Is it like, I could see this like here for a season?
Season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with season.
Okay.
I mean, at this point in the year, like I'm trying to do as little as possible. I'm sitting around planting my garden. I'm not moving quite as much.
Yeah.
Maybe like, you know, like cooking is about all the, all that I'm gonna exert.
The daily preparation, yeah.
So maybe not season. Let's say till May.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how you're going to do this, because the living and the formerly living.
Yeah.
You know, putting it all together.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm curious too.
Yeah.
So
because this is organic. This is all
very
happening.
organic. I meant to plan something out. I couldn't plan it out without seeing it. So we are here, and we're gonna roll.
We're gonna roll with this.
I'm doing it. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I know you know your plants.
Yes.
I'm taking it out of here. It's relatively dry. It had not been watered recently. And I'm gonna take all this old soil out. Break up my root ball, all that fun stuff. No. And I do have it, I picked out a cacti and succulent soil, which I personally love to just use cacti and succulent soil for everything.
Everything, yeah.
But Hoyas especially, they're gonna like
good drainage, better drainage.
Good drainage. And
especially if you're like somebody who like overwaters all the time, and if you have good drainage, it's like, it's very hard for it to overwater the plant.
Our teak bowl is not super well draining, so we want to set up for success.
Teak bowl is,
is
one of those no-nos that you're like, I'm just gonna do it for decoration. It's just for a few months.
But you know, and that's another thing that I was thinking about a lot when I was trying to figure out who was gonna go in this teak bowl, is like, it has to be a plant that kind of
doesn't mind being a little constrained and
So I think that Hoya is the plant. I also kind of feel like I see people, I don't know, like with the houseplant boom, like the pothos were huge, the easy to care for were huge. People are starting to ask questions about Hoyas. Like, I see the Hoya as kind of being a plant that's growing in popularity, which I love because I'm a big Hoya fan.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who went crazy for Hoya heads.
Hoya heads, So I'm just putting some soil in here, getting a good base. I kind of want it to sit like that, I think, and then I'm just gonna start building my soil around it.
And I like this because like I know a lot of people are back in work and they're not working from home now, pandemic, that kind of whole thing.
Right.
But it's just like kind of one of those things that if you were home all the time and you could just do some activities and like make your place look nice, like this is just a cool way to go. You know, we're at Rayne now. I should say I didn't say that before, but like Rayne is just like known for like really beautiful centerpieces and like flourishes and putting little designs together. Really amazing and immaculate and inventive and whimsical.
Something that I really like about working here is that we do like to find the whimsy in nature. And we, you know, I have some bleached flowers here, right? Obviously that is not natural whimsy, but we can kind of straddle the line. So that's what I'm doing.
Even when I get live flowers, I like to try to get like bouquets that will look good dried.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the best.
I've saved so many wonderful bouquets that are now dry, and some of them are dyed like this, you know, in that case, and they kind of keep a color. Yeah. Like I've been thinking, like, what are they, Gompherias?
Yeah, Gomphrinas.
Gomphrinas.
Yeah.
Gomphrinas. They really
One
keep
of my
their
faves.
Yeah, they keep their shape. They have like really beautiful colors. They're like little sprightly.
I thought I got a Gomphria in here. I don't, but I have bunny tails.
Yeah,
bunny tails are
similar enough.
the best. Yeah, we have those in about any color that you could think of. I was like, should I go like neon? Like, let's get crazy. But it's, you know, like we're kind of.
It was a subdued day, so she went with like
very subdued out.
Every time we come here, I've never come here during a sunny day.
You'll get there.
I hope so.
Soon enough. I'm gonna take some twigs.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'm gonna try and prop it up. I'm gonna try and move it.
I kind of have a sense of what you might do.
Okay,
like, you know,
all right.
The little arms are out here.
Yeah.
So
this is like I have 3 or 4 of these. They're huge. I'm not gonna stick something quite that large in. I'm gonna start down here. It's just like cutting your hair. You want to cut less before you cut more. Start right there.
I would make one of these things and I'll be like, maybe now somebody could actually use the table and eat on it.
Right, exactly. So I did not bring any floral tape. I was kind of just hoping
it would tendril around. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Did not expect it going that well. So I'm moving a little bit this way. I'm gonna maybe try and take the movement like this way, see if I can go out a little bit. Still kind of have the center open. Yeah. But we're gonna see what happens because that might not actually be the way it plays out. I'm going to take this guy. She's not wrapping quite as well, but that's okay. Yeah. We've got new leaves, we've got nodes. We're hopefully gonna suggest that you guys hang out together.
That's right. You know, I think before, in the older days, you're kind of relegated to like a fresh cut bouquet of flowers. I think things have changed and fashions change, and this is a cool way to express oneself.
It's a nice middle ground.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, movement on one side, and then so would you carry this movement through?
I think I'm gonna maybe carry it this way, not totally down, not totally up. See if we can kind of go here and see what it looks like.
When you're working with something like this, is there always a front, or
I am probably the biggest offender when it comes to having some type of front on any of my arrangements. I always aim to not have a front.
Okay.
This is obviously the front, especially because I'm like trying to show it off a little bit. I think we can kind of like work some things in the middle and like make sure whoever's sitting on this side of it gets their fair share of beauty.
And then how did you get into this? Like, how did you get into, like, obviously you're doing some of the formerly living flower buys, the dried flower buys.
Yes.
And then you're doing some arranging. You've kind of done a little bit of everything. But how did you get into this? Naturescaping.
It's kind of just like a fun thing that I like to do myself. I've done freelance stuff with designers. I respect the hustle, but event work is not for me. That is the long hours, you know, that is a very intense environment. And
meaning like events, like if you're doing something for a wedding or something?
Wedding events, okay. Yeah. So I've helped designers in that respect. I've worked with a lot of designers who are really into like using natural stuff versus flowers because you know, you talk about sustainability, there's a little bit of a question mark with regards to cut flowers. So watching those designers do like kokedamas or decorating with living plants, like,
and then people
inspiring.
getting to take those home
exactly
at the end of the night.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many weddings that I've broken down and like nobody wants the flowers, and it just breaks my heart. I can't dry any more flowers. So I'm gonna look at the front. I'm gonna see what's going on.
I mean, this looks good as is, but like I'm more curious about how you're gonna put the dried elements in there. You know?
As I said, me too.
Yeah, because I guess
that.
like in a way you want to feel like has been a part of this for a while.
Exactly, it's flowing.
It's grown this way through the crack and crevice.
I'm going to put some moss in here.
Yeah, let's do it. I've really grown to appreciate the like grasses, you know, the textures. You begin to appreciate like textures.
Yes.
You don't necessarily need all the green. It's the flow of something. You know, I'll just go out sometimes in the meadow, or even when I'm in Brooklyn, and I'll, you know, walk along Domino Park, and they have really lovely grasses and seed heads. There's something about them, and it's all monochrome in many ways, and there's some beauty in that, you know?
Absolutely. But I think that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, that's nice coverage. What I like about showing kind of like the process of this is like, you know, some folks could actually look at the finished product and be like, well, you know, how did they do that? Or that's way too creative. And I think what you could see is like Kate's just like feeling it out, working organically, pushing around, didn't have an extreme plan, had these items picked out, but you know, she may use all of them, she may not. And that it's just about having fun.
Yeah, you are right.
Nice.
So I'm gonna gather these bleached flowers. The vision is for them to be a contrast, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't need to be overly complex. And I think in general, when you're working with such beautiful materials, it's just gonna have some foundation of beauty in it.
You're right. You're right.
You know, it's.
This is the fun part about dried flowers. They all want to be together.
I mean, even when you're kind of like gardening, like in the landscape and stuff, you know, the idea of like having some really structural plants, like the teasel or like the rattlesnake plant or anything that has like strong structure, and then you have like grassy stuff around it that feels a little bit more fluid and see-through.
Yeah, the contrast.
In a way, you could kind of, if you want to design that way, you could take that into a little microcosm of design for your centerpiece as well.
Yeah, I really liked this particular one because I like the air between it.
I don't know if you're going to bring any more of those on the other side, but I feel like you don't need to, because if you have this even on that side, this feels like there's the
I'm thinking about maybe going lower with that one somewhere. Yes. All right, let's see. We're gonna put it there.
I mean, this to me is starting to look pretty complete, but I don't know how your eye thinks about it.
I mean, my eye, like I said, I'll pick it apart till the end of time.
Well, it's almost good that you don't have more accoutrements, you know.
Exactly.
So you're coming down to the wire. So.
It's really good to limit yourself. I've found that, and that's kind of like with a cutting garden. I'm just gonna chop everything in my garden, and suddenly there's no blooms left, and I have the heftiest arrangement I've ever made.
But I think if you kind of look at this from a total sum, like to me, just the overall thing is like your vessel, your living plant, and I got some formerly living plant accoutrements that, like, how do I work this in together? How do I combine these things, which often are not combined? So I think that's how it kind of goes, you know, showing how you could actually work this and embracing the movement of the Hoya pubic calyx and then you wanted to do that with like the branches.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel like the design philosophy comes through with something like this.
And thinking about like in a perfect world, you're gonna start getting blooms late winter, early spring. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And that being said, I think we're gonna let go of this.
Okay, that's right.
We're gonna let go of this. Put it over there. I think it's done.
I love it.
Great.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Yeah,
this
thank
is like
you.
really marvelous.
I'm so happy.
As we start to complete some of the home renovations at Flock Finger Lakes, we'll be doing some more plant DIYs to fill the homes with green. So stay tuned here and on our other YouTube channel at Flock for continuous inspiration, information, and ideas. In the meantime, check out our online courses like the Houseplant Masterclass over at homesteadbrooklyn.com and houseplantmasterclass.com. We'll see you in the next episodes.